right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Fort Worth Music Academy podcast. I am your host, Eric Barassa. Hey there. And if you are watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment in the below. I want to have a conversation about this. If you're listening in the audio version, you can email me your thoughts on this topic, eric@fortworthmusicacademy.com. Okay, so today I want to give you 3 ways to help get your child practicing on their own at home. And I know what you're thinking. You're saying, Eric, but my kid already practices on their own. They are a little angel. I have no problem getting them to do it. They don't whine. They don't throw a fit. They just do it. And to that, I would say, I don't believe you. I would say maybe 1 out of every 100 or 1 out of every 200 child students that signs up for lessons at Fort Worth Music Academy will practice on their own. The other 99.5% definitely are not going to do it. And why would they? It's work. Kids are not trained to do work on their own unsupervised. They would rather play and have fun, waste time online, or go outside or watch television. They are not interested in developing skills. They don't yet have, I would say, the mental fortitude to see the long-term benefits of suffering through the hard work it takes to learn a skill. And while learning a musical instrument is really fun, it is also work, especially when you are young. So to help combat the challenges that come with getting your child to practice at home, here are my top 3 strategies. Number 1, force your child to practice. This is my favorite one. Some people may push back on this one and say, but Eric, what about my child's feelings? I want them to like me. I want them to like music. I don't want them to hate music. Well, here's the reality. In my extensive experience with working with lots and lots of kids and families, is that if a child is not forced to practice, they don't develop the skill, they never get good, and they still suffer through it until they quit lessons, and then they think they just weren't talented enough. They just didn't have what it takes to become a great musician. Well, if you want to guarantee a way that your child is going to hate the idea of learning a musical instrument by not making them practice, it's guaranteed, pretty much. But by forcing them to practice, they're going to hate it at first. But I'm telling you, as soon as they start seeing the results and developing the skill and they actually get good, they love it. Like 99.5% of the time. Now, I've had one instance. We had a really great student who was with us for many years, and she got to a point in her playing where she was quite good. And then she was like, yeah, I don't really want to do this anymore. So, but that's the only time that happened. She played lots of concerts, sang on stage, playing her guitar, and was quite inspiring to a lot of the other students. And she just lost interest, and that's okay. That's okay. If any time as she grows up, if she ever wants to return to it, it's like riding a bike. That skill will always be there because she's already learned how to do it. By and large, like I said, 99.5% of kids, once they start getting good, they definitely love it. Now, my kids, I have used this approach. I force them to practice. I treat it like brushing your teeth or doing your homework or putting on a pair of socks. It's just something you do. It's just a part of our lives, and it's a responsibility you have as one of my children to reflect well on me as the owner of a music school that you must be a good musician. No, but really, I believe it's an important skill to have for many reasons, but that's not what we're talking about today. My 10-year-old right now, I had to force her for about the first year and a half of her playing piano, and she didn't want to do it. She would fight. She would whine. And after about 18 months of playing, she finally just recognized it as a habit. She developed the habit, And now she doesn't do it on her own. She doesn't remember to practice, but I will tell her, I will say, Madison, it's time to go practice, and she will go do it. And she'll do it willingly. So it took a long time, but I'm telling you, there's a light at the end of the tunnel if you're getting pushback from your child. My 8-year-old is a little bit different. He's still getting started playing guitar, and it's very hard to shift his focus. Once he's focused on something, he doesn't like being redirected. So that's a skill that we are currently working on. And then my 6-year-old, she loves playing piano, and she's kind of a I'll go with the flow kind of girl, you know? If someone suggests like, hey, let's go do something, she's like, I'm in. And it kind of doesn't matter what it is. She's down for it. She's down for a silly goose time. So when I say, Kennedy, let's go practice piano, she's like, okay, Daddy. So I'm taking advantage of that right now for sure. All right, so I'd love to hear from parents, grandparents, people with adult children and more experience than I do, because I recognize that in 10 years, I may change my tune on this. But as of right now, I think making your kid practice is the best way to have them do it. But I'd love to hear from some more experienced parents. How was it for you with your children and developing skills when they were kids? And did it backfire as an adult? Did it pay off as an adult? Let me know in the comments below on YouTube. Let me know, email me, eric@fortworthmusicacademy.com if you're just listening to this. Okay, strategy number 2 comes from Dave Simon, who is a bit of a business mentor to me. He built and sold his own music school. I have no desire to sell my music school, but my point is he's a guy who's been there, done that, and he created the Kids Rock program that we license, and it's a rock band program for kids ages 4 to 7. And oddly enough, you actually aren't required to practice to be in that program, and you don't have to buy any instruments. But Dave's strategy is inspire your kid to give you a concert rather than make them practice. So while you're just getting ready for your day, or while you're making dinner, or while you're just sitting on the couch relaxing, and your kid's like, oh, I'm bored, be like, hey, give me a concert. I want to hear what you've been playing in your music lessons. And rather than treating it as practicing, you're giving them tension and immediate praise, and you're paying attention to them directly. I find that my kids tend to practice a little bit better if I am in the room with them. When they know that me or that I or their mother or I, are watching them, they really like that, right? It's kind of like when we're at our kids' soccer game, you know, they play just a little bit harder, knowing that someone who cares about them is watching. Okay, so strategy number 3 is going to use bribery. Bribe your child into practicing. And some of you may say, well, but Eric, bribery is wrong. And to that, I would argue, I can't remember where I read this, but we actually use bribery as adults. If you have a job where you make money, you are essentially being bribed to work, okay? So you're on a reward system. You do work, you get money. So we do it as adults, so it makes sense that we would train kids at a young age to work for something and receive a reward. Now, for me, the reward of playing music is getting to make the music itself. And long term, for most students, it becomes that, right? Just the sheer joy of playing a song is reward enough. But when kids are starting out, it's not, because they're not very good. And so they don't necessarily get the same joy a more advanced musician will receive from just playing. So you can use, I learned from this book, which if you're watching the video right now, you can see it. It's called The One Thing. And somewhere in this book, the author introduces the token system. And the way they did it at their home was they ordered these plastic tokens, and we've got a bunch of plastic tokens here. Although it's been a little while since we've done it, it's a pretty good system. For every 20 or 30 minutes of reading that this author's kids would do, he would give them a token. And at the end of the week, they could trade in tokens for so many minutes of screen time, for 30 minutes of screen time. I don't remember what it was. If they had to pay 1 token or 2 tokens, that's up to you how you would want to do that. But you can do that with practicing. So if your child practices their instrument for 20 minutes, you give them a token. And then at the end of the week, they can trade in those tokens for prizes or for screen time or for something they really like to do that you determine they only get to do if they earn enough tokens throughout the week. I will say that we tried doing prizes, and that became very stressful because we would have to order little prizes or go to the store and buy things for the kids for them to choose. And it was fun for them, but it just became too much. So we're kind of back to right now just making our kids practice. But we did the token system for quite a while, and we may return to it at some point. Let me know if you have any more questions about that. And again, that's found in the book, The One Thing, which is about ultimately kind of trying to keep your life as simple as possible. And in each area of your life, asking, what is the one thing I can do today to improve in this area? So just a slight tangent. For me, what is the one thing I can do today to improve my health? What is the one thing today I can do to improve as a musician, to improve as a husband and father? What is the one thing I can do today to improve my business? It's cool. It's a nice, simple book. It's not a list of things to do. So anyway, that's it. I really want to know what you guys think. I want to have a conversation about this because I know there are lots of different opinions, and I'd love to know if you have a different strategy for getting your child to practice, or if you're an adult student, how you get yourself to best practice. All right. Well, you guys be sure and check out FortWorthMusicAcademy.com. If you're not currently a student with us, you can sign up for a trial lesson. You can join us in private lessons, our unlimited guitar classes, our unlimited piano classes, also our Kids rock band program for kids ages 4 to 7. So we kind of have something for everybody. We start as early as age 4, and the oldest student we've ever had is probably around 70 years old. We actually have quite a few students in their 50s and 60s. So don't be afraid to get in touch with us. It's never too late to start. We've had a lot of success with adult students as well as with the kiddos, and we are here for you guys with whatever you need. Let us know how we can help, and I will see you next time.